What up, though? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the King and Deuce Show. I am joined by a very special guest. Before we get to that, though, just want to let everybody know that King may be here with us tonight. He got a little tied up, so he's running a little bit behind, but he is going to try to hop on with us tonight. So, with that in mind, let's talk about who we do have here tonight, though. We are going to roll out the red carpet tonight for our guests, Detroit Pistons credential beat writer for ClutchPoints, also hip-hop enthusiast, and Kendrick Lamar music connoisseur.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least, a friend of the show, friend of ours, the one and only Eric Vincent. Eric, what is going on, my brother?
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a fun off season, bro. I mean, as you see on my social media, I've been Kendrick's #1 shooter on Twitter, and I'm gonna keep going. Any chance I can air out Drake, I'm gonna do it. I go pass up no chance.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed for him. He just needs to just put the shovel down and stop digging himself a deeper and deeper hole, as far as I'm concerned.
It's over for this day.
Speaking of things being over, we're going to talk about the wait for the off season, or for the regular season that we've been looking forward to in training camp and things like that. So we know you were one of the first ones to report this, that Media Day is quickly approaching. We are now only days away from Media Day and training camp. So Media Day is coming this Monday, September 30th, and training camp usually follows the day after on October 1st. And Eric, my man, is going to be in the building talking to players and coaches. So it's finally here, bro. How you feeling to have Pistons basketball finally back?
I'm excited, man. I really am. It was a long off season. I mean, a lot of things shifted around like they needed to. And, kind of coming in with, another year for the core together, new leadership intact. I'm very excited to see what they got to say. I think Media Day is going to be very, very intriguing. This is the season where all the hype gets to build up before the season starts or whatnot. So,
yeah,
it's a lot of personality with some of the guys on the team. I'm really excited to, hear from the coaching staff. Trajan Langdon, he's been a good talker ever since he's been hired. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Piston fans, tap in. You follow me on social media at I am Eric Vincent. Very excited to get you the update to what's going to happen. Really, really excited. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. We're going to get more into where we can find you and the work that you've been doing. So everybody, put that in the back of your mind for now. We're going to come back to that later for sure. We got a lot more to say about Mr. Eric Vincent, who is here with us tonight. If you guys are just coming, welcome to the show. We are going to talk about Pistons Media Day moving forward. So my question for you, bro, because for me, it's been one of the longest off seasons that I can recall, at least in recent memory. I think a lot of it is just the anticipation and just the curiosity of just so much newness and just seeing how it's all going to kind of come together, these puzzle pieces, right? So let me ask you this, though, regarding Media Day, right? That's coming this Monday on the 30th. Is there anybody in particular, player or coach, that you're looking to talk to and hear from, that you've kind of been waiting to kind of hear from this offseason?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to talk to JB Bickerstaff. I think he's been doing a lot and saying a lot of the right things. He did a whole lot of talking in terms of what his plan was and what he wants to do with the young core and how he thinks they can fit together. So I'm really excited to see what his plan is and how he's seen the guys develop, the time they spend around together, however brief or cool has been so far. I'm really excited to see him expound on that. Really just the leadership in general. Again, Trajan Langdon, I think, is going to be a really good conversation when he steps up as well. Yeah. And really, player-wise, it's not one player. I want to hear from all the guys that were coming back from last season. I mean, obviously, we saw how crazy the ship went down. Yeah. And I want to see, granted, they're not going to be able to speak as fluently and as open as they want to. Sure. But we're going to be able to pick some things apart to see how they talk about how last season grew them, how it shaped them, and what they're going to take from it going into this upcoming season. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of pointers. It's going to be important. I don't think this isn't just a Media Day where it's, which kind of shoes you're going to wear. It's not just entertainment stuff. It's going to be some real important stuff that they're going to have to address and digest come Media Day. I'm super excited for next Monday.
Absolutely. You made a good point about basically just reading between the lines as far as understanding what just kind of seeing their disposition, seeing their excitement level, because I'm pretty sure they've been in contact, all have been in contact with the coach. Coach probably called each individual player by this point and talked to them, at least a conversation. So I'm sure they are all beginning to know each other a little bit, even if just a little bit. And I'm sure that they have, first returns, first impressions are important. I'm sure they have their own thoughts on the coach, on Trajan, all these guys. So I kind of just want to see what their disposition is, because we did have a coach last year that we were excited about. So I just want to see how they're feeling, going into a new season with a new coach once again, and just kind of seeing what they've been doing this offseason. We've had a chance to talk to, some guys ourselves about what they've been doing this offseason with the work they've been putting in and how they've been playing together. And yeah, it's been good to see. I actually was not surprised to not see any Rico Hines footage this year because, because the guys this year, from what I've been told, have really been kind of doing their own thing together, which is what I like to hear, very, very important for a young team. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's going to be needed for sure. Like kind of going back to last season. I mean, it's not to say that Monty Williams didn't talk about basketball stuff. He talked about what he envisioned with Kade. He, called Duren. He said he could be a top 10 player in the league. So there were some things that he talked about, but there were also a lot of the head scratchers too that kind of took away from that. I'm here, the money played a factor. Talking about obviously the, weighing in so much about his family and how that played a part of his decision. Like, all that is understandable, but saying it out loud and weighing it in with everything else kind of left a lot of Pistons fans scratching their head. Like, does he really want to be here? Is this really going to be the best idea? And obviously cutting ties and moving forward now from this point, and hearing a guy like JB Bickerstaff keeping it strictly to basketball, talking about a lot of things that, again, he's not going to directly say, this didn't work, so I'm going to do this. But he did speak to things that he wants to do that they didn't do last season. So I think that alone is going to keep Piston fans pretty optimistic about what we're going to see.
That's a great point, bro. There was a lot of specificity when it came to basketball, when it came to JB Bickerstaff, just things he wanted to do with certain players. You know what I mean? Yeah. Getting Jaylen out on the break, off the miss. Just things like that it shows he's already paying attention. He's already watching film. He's already diving into how to make this team better from the inside out. And we didn't hear that at all with Monty Williams. Not to throw shade, but it is what it is. And I think as the season progressed last season, we kind of saw and it reinforced what we kind of all denied in the beginning, was that he really didn't want to be here. Because like when you hear him say, I want to be here for the money, it's like, well, at least he's being honest.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you want to believe that that's the only reason he said it. But as the season progressed and you saw decisions that were made, we thought back to what he said about the money. You know what I mean? So I didn't have that feeling at all with JB Bickerstaff. I actually am really excited to see from a basketball perspective what he's able to incorporate and how he's able to get the most out of these guys.
I think the opportunity is right there. Again, he's been saying a lot of the right things. He was one of the more sought after names, leaving Cleveland, obviously coaching in the division. So a lot of Pistons fans are pretty familiar with what he's capable of. Yeah. And obviously, working with, similar to Monty Williams, but working with two all-star guards, these two are in their prime, and he did a little bit more creative thinking with those two and keeping them productive in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. So, we're very interested to see how that can play off with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. I definitely think that's one of the biggest talking points and the things we're most excited to see. And I think he's the right guy to push those buttons. He's been talking about it, and I think he's in the best position to make that happen and make those guys productive for sure.
I'm with you on that, bro. I'm glad you mentioned that Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham backcourt, because that kind of takes us into our next point, which is when it comes to next season, who is, in your opinion, the surprise or breakout player of next season, looking at where they are now and then looking at where you think they could be potential wise, ceiling wise? Who do you think could be, or who is your surprise player if you have one for this coming season?
I don't think he should be a surprise, but based on the way people have talked about him kind of all off season, I think I got to go with Jaden Ivey. I don't want to, step on your guy if that was your pick, but I just think it makes the most sense. I think he is kind of slept on with what he's been bringing to this team. And a lot of the changes and whatnot have not been his fault. A lot of the things that he's had to go through have not been his fault. And to me, like of course, one of the biggest talking points on is the consistency of his jump shot. I feel like if he's put in the positions to score that maximize what his skill set is, I don't think the rush of his jump shot is going to be as important as people make it out to be. Not that it's not important, but to me, if he's like, I think he's obviously one of the fastest players in the league. He plays great in transition. And if you can get him moving in motion, which they didn't do a whole lot of off last season, if he's doing that this season and drawing contact, if he's a better free throw shooter, I think being able to score in transition, getting to the free throw line will be able to offset the expectation of his jump shot a little bit. So to me, I think they need to take advantage of that skill set for him, and I think that's going to help him take off. Even with his defense, like, again, he's not a lockdown defender, but he was way more engaged than we saw his rookie year, and that was still going through the stress of going under Coach Monty Williams. So I think he's in a perfect position to flourish this season. I think he's due for a breakout year. I think he's going to do great things in his backcourt.
Yeah, you definitely stole my answer, so thanks for that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Hey, but great minds think alike, right? So I'm not even mad at it. But no, for me, it's Jaylen too. You know what's interesting for me, bro? Beyond this past season, it seems like people have always found a reason not to rock with him. Think about his rookie season. What were everybody saying? Oh, we should have took Scoot Henderson. We should have did this. What about Scoot? It was always this comparison of him to somebody else.
Right.
In his rookie season, he played pretty good. Looking at what he had around him as a rookie, he played pretty well. But once people were reminded that his stats were very comparable to Dwayne Wade, before that point, a lot of people were complaining about him. And so I just feel like for some reason people are just maybe they're looking for a scapegoat because we're so bad. Who knows? But I think a lot of the criticism he has gotten is unwarranted. And from what I've been around and been told is that he's had a great offseason. A really great offseason. He's locked in. He's ready to go. He's ready to go this season. After last season, he's ready to go. So I am very excited to see him. And that backcourt, man, it may not be the traditional fit, but there are a lot of backcourts that aren't traditional fits like how it was back in the 90s and 2000s and on. So it can work. And for me, it's about just getting the reps in. They played a third of their games together.
Right.
Either one guy or the other or both were hurt for 2/3 of the games. So give it a chance. You got to give it a chance. And so I'm looking just forward to seeing how that plays out and how things kind of build from there.
I think it's a small list of options in terms of the question. Like, Kade's not going to have a breakout season. If he averages, 26 and 10, I don't think that's a breakout season because we've all known that he's going to be a star sooner than later anyway.
Right.
Asar, I don't really know if he's going to have a breakout year because I'm still kind of waiting to see what his role is going to be at this point. And we got to see where his offense develops at this time. And a lot of the veterans that they brought in, these are guys that are older that are basically being brought in to help, work with the maturation of the young guys. So it kind of comes down to Ivey and Duren. While I do believe Duren can take a step forward and, do a lot of great things, I don't think there's going to be a lot of offensive responsibility on his plate just because of how he plays. Like, he's not a guy that, like, if their opponents are on a 10-0 run, they're not going to dump the ball off to Duren like, hey, big fella, go get us a bucket to cool the fire down. Like, that's just not how he plays.
Exactly.
So I think Ivey's going to have that opportunity, being that combo guard next to Kade, along with the staggering where he's going to be a backup point guard a lot of the time as well.
100%.
Have the ball in his hand to pass as well as get to the hoop and set up others. So I think the sky's the limit for him this year. I think he's going to work with a lot of great space, and I think we're going to see a totally different Jaden Ivey this coming season. Yeah,
what you mentioned about staggering is important because if you don't do that, if he's only your backup point guard, like I've heard, he's only getting between 15 to 18 minutes a game.
Right.
It's just a waste. Why would you even do that? So I like the idea of having him as the 2 guard, as a starter, and then when Kade goes to the bench, now you can slide him to the 1, and now you can give him some of that responsibility to do what he did his rookie season and to build on that. Let him play free. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I really think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised about the early returns with his backcourt.
I had a really good conversation with his father this offseason. Shout out to Jamin Hunter.
Shout out.
Super
my guy.
Cool guy. I really had a great conversation with him on Sports Rap Radio.
Yes, sir.
And I spoke to him about it. Like, we were talking about his maturation and what's happened last season. But the point that I wanted to hone in on it was basketball related, but it wasn't like skill set related. Because when they talk about young players so often, it's how can they, adjust to the travel, the mindset, the losing, the bumps and the pains and bruises of being a young player. And him being able to go through everything that he went through last season. And even before that, his rookie year, even going back to his rookie season, being able to play in a position where he's all of a sudden the point guard because Kade is hurt. So now he's been able to do in 2 seasons adjusting to a new role, going through the stress of playing under a coach that don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
And now he's stepping into a position where you can work with Kade a little bit longer under a coach that has a plan.
Right.
I told his dad, I think to me that solidifies him as a core member because his maturation is there. He never, posted anything cryptic on social media. He never, had a tiff on the bench with anybody. That maturity was so impressive to me. So I'm super excited to see what he can do moving forward.
100%.
What's happening, King?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man?
What up, though?
Yeah, I've been listening the whole time. Just want to apologize for being late for everybody that's in the comment section, everybody that's watching.
Nah, we don't forgive you, bro. Nah. Not for that.
King's a busy man these days, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. We get it, bro. Trust me. We get it. Yeah, man. We talk about just, the backcourt that everybody seems to be a little bit skeptical about as far as Kade and Jaylen and just kind of how that dynamic is going to work next season with a new total just infrastructure, right? From the ground up. So what are your thoughts on that backcourt? We talked about it a little bit before, but before we even get to that, just as far as, let me ask you this, surprise player, breakout player for next season. Who do you think that could be as far as based on where they were last season and where they could potentially go going into next season?
I'm going to keep it consistent and I'm going to go with Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey. Enough is just not being said about Jaden Ivey. I expect guys like Duren to take some steps forward, but I think Ivey is going to really establish himself. Piggybacking off what Eric was saying earlier, he didn't put himself in those situations. You got to understand that, So with this coach and the background that this coach brings with guards,
right?
I expect our backcourt to flourish. You know what I'm saying? I really do expect them to flourish, but that's also the same reason why I expect Jaylen Brown and some of these bigs on this team to take some steps forward, because obviously you got to look at what Bickerstaff is coming from with as far as bigs. So I just think he's the perfect coach for the job. My main thing is with all the improvement, with picking the player that's going to stand out, that's all cool. Focus on winning some games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, that's going to take care of everything. It's going to give everybody confidence. It's going to put guys into their roles. You guys got to go out there on that court and figure it out. You got to be 100% bought into what the coaching staff is bringing.
Right.
The Pistons just announced the coaching staff and some of the assistants.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I really like that list.
So
I expect a lot of improvement just from a foundation standpoint with this team, and I can't wait to watch it, man.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. That's the consensus. So yeah, all looking for a big season from JI next season. That takes us to an actual Instagram story that I actually saw that was pretty interesting. Just happened to come across it. It was on Malik Beasley's story. And I like it because it's showing the friendly competition that's kind of already brewing amongst our teammates. So I'm going to throw it up here for everybody to see. So this here is the NBA all-time three-pointers made list. As you can see, Beasley here, he said, "My fellow OGs, I'm coming for you." And he said Rudy Gay, Tobias Harris, and Steve Smith. So as you can see, Malik Beasley's down here at 117 all-time with 1,134. Tobias is at 98 all time with 1,218. So quick question. Will Malik Beasley catch Tobias Harris by season's end? Maybe not by season's end. He's probably about 80 behind at this point. And I don't know if he's going to get enough attempts. I'm going to say no on that front. I'm going to say no.
It
just on the volume alone.
Right. It depends on the roles, right?
Yeah.
And who's going to get the opportunity to get the most shots.
Right.
And, how big are you going to play a part in the offense? Obviously Beasley is here to do one thing, which is shoot that basketball, score points. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we know Tobias can get them up too. So it's going to be interesting. Healthy rivalries like that I love that type of stuff.
Right. I love it.
It just makes your team better, man. So
So what you think, Eric?
Nah, I don't see it. Yeah, I see Tobias getting up a lot of shots. Tobias going to be playing close to 30 minutes, around 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much he's going to be in the rotation right now between him and Tim Hardaway Jr. It's going to be a toss-up to see, how far they make it through the season and how many shots they get up, let alone with that. I'm shocked Rudy Gay is so high up that list, but that's a conversation for another time. But
I was surprised to see that name too.
Yeah, I don't.
Steve Smith, not so much. That wasn't surprising, but Rudy,
he makes sense. Rudy, I didn't think was a shooter like that, but I don't know. I don't see that happening. But hey, if he does, that means something worked. That's another win for Trajan Layton. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I like it too. Okay, so that takes me to the next question that I had kind of a two-part question in the same lane. So which Piston will lead the team in three-pointers made next season? Which guy do you think is going to lead the team in three-pointers made? Let's start there. So going back to volume, you got a couple guys that you could really put in this conversation. When you think about it, you got Beasley, right? Of course. Mm-hmm. Depending on minutes, well, I'm not going to put TH. I don't see THJ playing that much this season, personally. You got Stu. You got Tobias. Got Simone, right? If he shot 43% last year from three in limited volume, right? But still, it's 43%. So it just depends. Will he have an extended, or a bigger role this season? What do you think? You could really go any direction.
I just got to go with you got to go with the guy that's going to be on the court the most.
Okay.
I can't get past guys like Tobias Harris. I can't, bro. I can't because, like I said, you got some shooters, right? Like you said with Tim Hardaway Jr., we don't expect them to be out there enough to do something like that. You got guys like Fontecchio. His role is a little different this year. It's off the bench, but I just got to go with Tobias.
What you think, Eric? There is no right or wrong answer.
Names right now. Yeah, okay. I'm going between two names. I think I'm gonna go Fontecchio. I think is my favorite right now.
Okay,
I think Kade is gonna line him up. I think Ivy gonna do a really good job finding him. He was really, really efficient in the corner, and he's good at putting the ball on the ground and getting his own shot too. He's not like Bojan where you're slow as molasses. He can move around and he can settle in some spots. I think Kade might have a chance too. I feel like
sleeper. I like
really
it.
think Fred Vincent is going to do wonders for him. I mean, we all seen what Kade's jumper used to look like, and I think with a little bit of better space that he has now, I think with with Ivy being next to him, being able to draw some attention away, if he's taking a step forward, I think Kade might be close to 40 this year.
40+%. I was going to ask you. 40 plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna go between. I think he can hit between 37 and 40. Like I don't think that's a stretch. We know he's gonna have the volume. The shots are gonna be there. No one's gonna tell Kade to stop shooting. So
right.
Well, I really think he's got a chance to be that guy at the top.
Okay. Right. I like it. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's not even really I can't even call it a hot take. It's not even really a hot take.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too crazy, but
it's a good one though. It's a good one though.
Yeah, I kind of, that's why I was kind of talking about Fontecchio because I like Fontecchio.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kade, man, hey, listen, opportunities, man, top of the key. You know what I'm saying? Dribble into that 3-point shot. I can see it. I really can. I truly do believe Kade is definitely gonna make his presence felt in his league this season, man.
Yeah,
it's been real quiet in Pistons land. These guys, they've been together, they've been working together, but at the same time, guys is grinding. I expect guys to make it known in this league, like, hey, we here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't the laughing stock of the league no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%, bro.
Outside of just winning, I think that's the biggest thing because there's been a lot of conversation about Kade making his first All-Star game. I think if that 3-point percentage ticks up, and again, like he was good last year, he was pretty good last year, but if he's ticking around 37, in the elite range, close to 40, I think it's a no-brainer that he's making the All-Star team. I think his numbers can surprise a lot of people if he get an improvement in that 3-point shot.
I was going to mention that later on in the stream, but I'm glad you mentioned that. I have Kade penciled in for the All-Star game.
Really? Okay.
I do. I have that much confidence in that. Like you mentioned him, like as far as just the overall structure of the roster and the offense just being different now. And I think he's going to do wonders for him too. I really think this is the year that he takes off. I really do. This is the time for him.
Okay, so we all agree that he has the skill set to do it, but obviously with the Pistons, if they're losing, they're not gonna let him get it. How many games do you think he has to, or the Pistons have to win in order for him to get that consideration? Where, like in the East, do they have to be, in your opinion, in order to get that consideration?
I think they're going to look at how many games they won last year and kind of use that of a barometer.
Okay.
More so, because you saw how many games we won last year. So I think if we're close to 30 or even 25, if we're close to 25, I think by the All-Star break, we've got a shot. I think, but I really think we're going to get 35 plus wins this season. I really do. I think we're going to have a great season. I told King that earlier this season, or earlier in the offseason. I have it between 30 and 35, but I'm pushing 35. I think we're going to end the season very, very strong. Okay. So that would honestly be one of the reasons why I was afraid of him possibly not making it. Yeah. Because I would see that late push affecting their record after the All-Star break. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I still think, with that being said, he's still going to get there. I think the Pistons are going to surprise a lot of teams early. They're going to win. I think they're going to win some games they're not supposed to early, and I think they're going to build on that momentum.
I can see that. I think, they got to hover around. Like, to me, they got to hover above the 10 spot. They got to be, whether they fall below it after, it is what it is. But I think they got to be like around 7, 8 to get up there, because he's got Tyrese Halliburton to get by, Trae Young, Dame Lillard, Tyrese Maxey, the Boston duo, the Cleveland duo. There's a lot of guards out the East that he has to pass, but I think he has a higher ceiling than basically most of them. So it's not impossible, but they got to be able to get some wins together to get him up there. He has to.
Yeah, for sure. You think about a couple of guys you mentioned. Garland hasn't been there in the last couple years, I don't think. I know he was there in 2022. I don't think the last year or this past year he was there. And then think about Maxey too. With PG being there, that's probably going to lower his stats a little bit too. So it's going to be some movement as far as, with production, as far as I think we're used to seeing with some of these guys, just because of the movement with the players. But you're right. There are definitely still guys there that he has to get past. But I think the improvement in the record is what's really going to help him, just considering how bad we have been in the past.
Agreed. So
we'll see. Hopefully, let's see what you guys think. 36-40. Woo! Oof. Okay, Chris. That's ambitious.
That brother confident.
That's ambitious. I'm not mad though. I'm not mad.
Hey, be confident in your team, man. Put the good juju out there in the universe, man.
Right. Okay. So the second part of that question: which player will have the highest 3-point percentage?
The highest percentage?
Yeah.
I'm going with Beasley.
Beasley? Okay. I'm not mad at that one.
I'll say Fontecchio still. I'm going to stick with Tech. I think a lot of his shots, even though he does have the ability to get to the lane, I think a lot of his best looks are going to be on the outside. I think that's what they're going to want to, predicate and use him for. Again, he's good at any part of the around the arc. So I think he's going to be – I think he can hover around 40%. I don't think that's a stretch. Again, I think he's going to find a lot of open looks with Kade bringing in double teams, Ivy playing in double teams. If Kade is posting up a lot more and, find those feeds and kickouts, even Asar, I think, will be able to. Duren as well. There's a lot of good passes on this team, and I think they'll be able to spot up and find him, especially with other shooters on the floor with Tech. So I think he'll be I think he can hover around 40 to get to be the top guy.
Got you. I'm going to go with Tech as well. I just look at, he started quite a few games. For the games that he played with us, I think he started more than he didn't start. And if I'm correct, he shot 43% as a starter against other starters. Yep. So I don't think he's going to start this season. So I think most of his minutes are going to be against bench guys. And I think that's going to bode well for him as well. Being able to get better shots, being able to, because I think he is worthy of being a starter, right, on a good team. But having a guy like that off the bench, I think that's going to bode well for the team and for him as well. So I definitely think he's going to be the biggest beneficiary of that just because of his role. And if he shot 43% as a starter for this team that we had last year with the roster construction that we had, I think he can get to at least 40 as a bench player with more depth that we have playing against guys who aren't probably as good as him. So, yeah, I got Tech. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it though.
I think he'll probably be their first guy off the bench too. So I think he's going to be able to log close to 30 minutes, even if he is coming off the bench. I think he could start, but I do see a world where he could be coming off the bench too, just so they have some defense in the starting lineup. But yeah, I can see him still getting a lot of opportunities to be that guy.
I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, let's move on to our next topic here. So there was some interesting news that came out, I think it was today, about a specific player that had something to say about our Detroit Pistons. This guy is a very polarizing player. His name is Jaylen Brown. You know, to give him respect, NBA champion, Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown, right? But he has something to say about our Detroit Pistons. So instead of me trying to explain it, let's just go ahead and play it.
30. I'll play through Sam, let him shoot 10 threes tonight.
So
finding different ways to lead also sometimes means that sacrifice where, you know, in a night we playing, don't mean to disrespect them, but the Detroit Pistons, who have struggled over the last year or two, you know, we're going to play through Peyton, let him go for 30. I'll play through Sam, let him shoot 10 threes tonight. We're going to still win the game. You know, it don't have to be the normal way, but that gives those guys confidence. That gives those guys ability to run free, and we're going to need that down the line.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I mean, I think I would be the lighter guy in this conversation, so let me go first.
Okay.
Listen, bro, when you have a record that bad, I mean, it's just given. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what other team would he pick besides the Detroit Pistons to give an example like that?
Wizards.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hornets.
The Pistons were horrible, bro. We were horrible. You know what I'm saying? We were the streak team. You know, so we at the bottom of the barrel. Why else would you say anybody else but the Pistons, especially in the Eastern Conference, in your conference? You know what I'm saying? So, and he, like I said, he apologized. I mean, you know, he apologized before he even said something.
Bro, hold on.
It just is what it is, bro. We were bad.
No, I agree with you on that front. I do want to say that. That part of it, bro, I'm not even mad about that part of it. Like, that's what you got to expect when you have when you have things like historic losing season attached to you. That you got to expect that, right? It comes with the territory. It actually could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. We could have caught a lot more flack this offseason and throughout the season than we actually did, right? So I'm not even mad about that part. It's just how it's funny to me how people, when they say no disrespect and then proceed to disrespect. I can't stand it. It's kind of like if anybody who's seen Anchorman 2, if you've seen Anchorman 2, when Will Ferrell said, no offense, but you're a stupid a-hole. Like, bro, like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing for me. Is come on, bro. Just say it. If you're going to say it with your chest, bro.
Listen, to me, I live by a different creed. There's no such thing as disrespect when you're telling the truth, bro. Period. He's telling the truth. Brother, we're Pistons fans. We're one-sided already.
I understand that.
Is the truth, man. We were terrible, bro.
Listen, he said we're going to let Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard get 30. That's not the truth. That's disrespectful.
Okay, who wasn't getting off against the Pistons?
They weren't.
I'm just saying.
Not them. I mean, if you want to say respectable guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to say guys that actually, maybe played, on this Olympic team, or, even guys who are starters. But come on, Sam Hauser, bro, he's a 3-point specialist.
Y'all don't.
Pritchard not even getting minutes. Come on.
Those type of comments, you don't take offense to that because your team hears that. Your team needs to hear that.
They do.
It motivates them. I love that when somebody says something like that about your team, you take that, you mark it on your calendar, and when you play them, you expect your team to stomp them in the dirt, man.
Agreed.
I love it. I absolutely love it. But disrespectful is a stretch. Yeah, it hurts, but that's a stretch, bro. It
was the way he was saying it, though, bro. He was like, we're gonna let them get off. We're gonna win anyway. Like just the way he was saying it, bro. Like he was trying to take a shot. He was literally trying to take a shot. It wasn't just like it was all facts. It wasn't just like he was saying this game we did this. We said what?
To me, it felt like more of an example. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's why he apologized in the beginning, but he used our team as an example to say, hey, not just per se, the Pistons, since we're playing the Pistons, we're going to do this and that. He said he just selected a bad team off the top of his dome and used them as an example. which was the Pistons at the time. That's just what it is, man. I mean, we're Pistons fans. We automatically gonna say, "Oh, that's disrespectful."
No. Like I said, it's not even about the fact that he uses as an example. I just don't like when people just don't say it with their chest, man. Like, no offense, but and then just proceed to give a whole paragraph about something that, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, just say it.
But that's why,
as outspoken as he's been. Come on, man.
You don't say it with your chest when you don't mean that. That's not what he used our team as an example. He's not. If you
don't mean it, you don't need to use a team as an example.
Jaylen Brown,
if you don't mean it, you don't need to use any preface. Think about it. If you take Detroit out of your mouth, not even trying to be like I'm angry, because I'm not. You take Detroit out of your mouth, you don't need to say no offense. You could just say against a team, that's not great. That's not good.
When you're trying to be disrespectful, that's what you do. When you're not trying to be disrespectful and use a team as an example, you do it the way he did it. It's no nice way to say it. There's no nice way to say it.
It is by not using an example.
Bro, our team was trash. They're going to get used. You know how many years the Lions been trash and they've been used on TV?
I understand that, bro. It's like I said, it's not about the fact that he used our team. It's not about the fact that he used our team. I just feel like he was kind of trying to hide behind his own words.
Bro, you know how many relationships he got on this Pistons squad? Why would he do that to his people, bro? Man. That makes no sense.
Then why even use the team? That's
because
the whole point.
The worst.
No, but
we were the worst.
But you can't have it both ways. You can't say we were the worst and that's why, but then say he got relationships and that's why he wouldn't. Come on. Man. It's got to be all or nothing.
It's an example.
Either he got relationships that are great, and because of that, he's not going to say no offense, and he's not going to use that team. Like, don't even use the team if relationships mean that much to you.
Man, y'all.
Come on.
So if he said we gonna dog walk him and didn't say no offense, you would have been fine with it?
No. Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Okay. Right. Because then he's standing with his chest. Then he's actually, it's like, okay. And then you like write that down. But come on, man. Like, it's like you kind of play both sides of the fence here. It's like you're not trying to be responsible if it comes back to you. Well, I did say no offense. No, bro. Say it or don't say it. Come on, man.
I hear what you're saying. King's not wrong, though. I mean, it's low-hanging fruit, and when you set a record for the biggest losing streak in NBA history, you can only say so much to defend yourself. I will call cap on we're going to play through Sam Hauser. Bruh, the first game he played against Pistons, he had 5 points. I had to go do the research myself. Like, bro, you're not playing through these guys. Let's relax a little bit. If you want to say we play through Porzingis, so we give Drew Holiday some extra looks, cool. We play through Sam Hauser?
Yeah, that's what come on, bro.
All right, bro. So that's what I'll call. I don't like it because I'm a fan, but I understand the comparison. I understand why he used the Pistons for his statement. It's just wild using the guys who are probably the 7th or 8th best players on your team for the example that you're using. That was a little wild to me, but I see what he's talking about.
I see your side too, bro. I see your side of it too. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And maybe it's supposed to rub me the wrong way. And maybe it's justified. You know what I'm saying?
Detroiting you, man. That's all it is. Like, we take everything offensive in Detroit, bro.
Last year was hard, bro. It was tough last year. Going through too much. Now we got the after effects. It's not over yet.
But like y'all said, I hope they got this marked on their calendar.
Yeah.
Because I almost got it marked on my calendar.
I hope they put those players in and think they're gonna get 30.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that mentality because that's a idiot's mentality. I love that mentality.
Yeah,
this is the NBA. It little teams really can turn things around that fast, bro.
Right.
So y'all barely won the championship. That poverty championship y'all won. Fine, whatever. I love the strategy, Jaylen. I wish y'all would. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all I was trying to say. Was what Derrick was saying. But like I said, I see both sides. But that's why we all.
Even
got a
feeling
voice
foggy this year. He was talking about Bronny during the summer league when he was with Angel Reese, saying he's not an NBA player. Now he
again.
That's what I mean. But that's what I mean, bro.
The truth is the truth. Bronny he never was an NBA player. Bro, we all know that.
He never. You notice he never said it in front of a microphone, though. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's just
why would he knowing that the entire world gonna cry? Everybody pats LeBron's butt. So
okay. You know what? This is a slippery slope. Now we get to Bron. We are not gonna finish this show. We start talking about Bron.
His son trash, man. You know he's trash.
No, his son is not an NBA player right now. Straight up. He's not. And you know how I feel about that, about Brian, but he's not. He's not. I don't know if he's going to be. I think he could be possibly role player, but I don't see him being what most people want him to be. I just don't see it. That's just me.
His peak is Tony Allen.
That's what I see for him. Tony Allen. Tony Allen was a defensive player of the year candidate a few years.
Right.
Yeah, all team defensive. Yeah, for sure.
True.
His shot is much better than Tony Allen's though. That form, that trash form that Tony Allen had, looked like Michael Kidd Gilchrist. All right, let's get back on task. Okay, so enough about Jaylen Brown. Okay, so now let's move on to Cade Cunningham being named a top 50 player, according to CBS. That is what they named him. So shout out to Cade, first of all, right, for cracking the top 50, which he should have did a long time ago, in my opinion. But shout out to him. Congratulations to him. So with that said, I want to give a little bit of context with some of the players from his draft class and what their rankings were. So let's go through a couple guys here. We've got Franz Wagner is ranked at 51. We've got Evan Mobley is ranked at 48. Cade's 49, by the way. Scotty Barnes is at 42. That was surprising to me. Jalen Green, 92. So, any instant reactions before we get to Cade, any instant reactions to the King over the Kraken? Any instant reactions to the player rankings of the other players from Cade's draft class? Anything surprising? Anything, are they right where you thought they'd be? What you think?
When it comes to our team, man, it's always we're going to give you something, but at the same time, it's still going to be kind of disrespectful, bro. Like, what are we talking about with Barnes and Evan Mobley? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jalen Green, hey, fine. You know, in the 90s, whatever. I mean, we all, you know, when he came here, we tried to warn people how streaky this man was. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Bro, them other cats, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can even let Franz Wagner go because of the success over there. You know what I'm saying?
I will have him higher, man.
Barnes and Mobley ahead of Cade.
Come on, bro. What are we doing?
Come on, man.
To me, Barnes and Mobley I wouldn't put either one of them above. I would personally, I'd rather have Wagner instead of both of those guys.
Yeah.
Me too.
Personally. And they got Wagner at 51 and Barnes at 43. Like, what? I still don't understand this Mobley love, man. I feel like he just gets so much love for being a good NBA player. Right? I'm not even trying to throw shade. I just think he's a good NBA player. He's still young, right? But come on, bro. What are we doing? But I think once again, it goes to the team success too, which is why I'm glad we got JB on our side now. But yeah, like some of these were just crazy to me, man. Like Scotty Barnes at 42 was wild to me. I don't know how that happened. But whatever. Jalen Green at 92. Is that too low for him, or what do you think about him? I think that's low for him.
I would kind of have
low for him.
I would have to see the list and see who's ahead of him. I mean, that is kind of low for.
I think that's low for him, bro. I don't think he's.
He did some improvement over there.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. That's a little bit too low.
What you think, Eric?
Yeah, they got guys like Derek Lively. They got Tyler Hero ahead of him. Like, I can't agree with that. Mike Conley. I don't think Mike Conley's a better player than Jalen Green at this point.
Not now. Not Mike now.
I don't. Yeah, I would move him up. I would move Franz up a lot more. And a lot of these other guys I'll move up. I got some controversial names I'll kind of get out the way. We talked about Mobley and Barnes. We've beat that horse enough already. People want to stand on this hill of those guys being better than Cade, and I think they need to be tested because that's just insane.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't think Jalen Williams should be higher than Cade. I like him as a player, but I also think a lot of the winning kind of feeds a bit more of his hype than he gets. He's a fantastic player. I would love him to be on the Pistons as a wing.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's that much better than Cade. I don't know what does Derek White have on the league? He's not the 36th best player in the NBA. He's just not. I think that's insane. I don't think Drew Holiday
got him at 36.
They
Bruh,
referring to that
Oh my.
playoff series. That's from the playoffs, bro.
Wow.
why he that high.
36 for
All it
Derrick
is.
White, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
why he
feeling
that
that at
high.
all.
It's the
I'm not
Sheesh.
feeling
it's
that
the
at all.
success. Yeah, it's
No.
terrible. It is terrible, but it's from the success. That's all. It is.
Of
Man.
course. Even, and I like some of these guys. Like Chet's a dog. Paulo, I love. Wemby, I don't have a problem with him at 12. Wemby he deserves to be.
I don't
where he's
either.
at. See,
I don't either.
Notice they don't argue about his record.
Nobody says
When you
nothing.
look at his write-up, they just say nothing about team record. They just say he a dog. He's gonna be great forever. We love him. But
Bro,
Kade, it's
yeah.
all about team this, team that, team this, team that. I don't think Kade is 20 spots away from Paulo, and I don't think Chet should be that much higher than him either.
Where's Chet?
I feel like Chet is 30. That's way too
What?
high for me, and they're good. I like those guys. You telling me Kade is 49 behind those dudes?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No way.
That's crazy.
Way. I don't like that at all.
And you
Those
can't
are
even
the
really
big things
blame it
about
on
them.
injuries either.
No.
And missed time either. That's just straight up player for player in their mind.
Nah, I'm
Wow.
not feeling that. Yeah, Derrick White, Drew Holiday, like a lot of these names are just kind of just
Even Drew, like
nasty. Yeah.
Drew now. I'm thinking Drew now. I don't know Drew if Drew now is better than Kade Cunningham. If you put
not.
Kade on that team, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
And they need to put this. If I had the power to, I would put this list up in Kade's locker, bro.
right,
I need you to look at this every day. Like
man.
this
Kade, Ken, AB, if y'all watching, man, that's insane, bro. They got him 20. Wow,
that's way too high.
That's
Way
crazy.
Too high. Again, and I like some of these guys. Paulo, I think, is a dog, but like you can't tell me that he's 20 spots ahead of Kade. They had the same
nah,
numbers.
man,
They
nah,
had the
exactly.
same numbers essentially.
Exactly.
Kade was more efficient. You can't convince me that he's that much higher than where Kade is listed. It just
No.
doesn't make no kind of sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, bro. That's insane. I didn't realize. Wow. Okay. All right. Good to know. I'm gonna have to go back over that list again because that's craziness.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
Yeah, they
Okay.
was fooling on that. CBS
So-
get together.
Yeah. I personally believe that he's already close to being the top 25, 30 in my mind already.
Yeah.
Right. So like, do you think that there will be any other Pistons by the end of this season that will be in the top 100?
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best chance, or guys you think have the best chance of cracking that top 100 by season's end?
And we going.
King, let's start with you, bro.
We going with the entire team in general, or
Yeah.
are we going with our young core?
Yeah, entire team.
Entire team. I still, like I said, I got a lot of high hopes in Ivy. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he's going to explode, man. Like I said, with him getting the freedom that he deserves, with them having proper spacing out there, I think he's going to be able to attack the basket and create a lot of problems for teams. So I'll say Ivy.
Yeah. Yeah. What you think, Eric?
I'm gonna go both of them. I think Duren and Ivy should crack this top 100.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the
Yeah.
list
Yep.
itself. I got it right here. Jabari is 100. Klay Thompson 99. Kyle Kuzma 98. He should probably be higher than that. Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Hawks. Lou Dort
Okay.
96. KCP 95. I absolutely can see a world where Duren and Jay Ivy are better than all five of those guys. Like,
Yes.
I feel like if they're not, they don't have to be top 50, top 75, nothing crazy like that. But top 100, based on the skill set that we've seen from these guys, knowing how well Kade and Duren play together, he's still going to get a lot of those looks at the rim. I think if he's healthy, he don't have the ankle problems. If he's able to get his fouls under control a little bit and, learn to block his shots and keep rebounding with the velocity that he's been doing, he should easily be top 75. And with Ivy trending upwards in his scoring, if his jumper is getting more consistent, he's finding passing lanes defensively, I think he can find himself in, the 80 range as well. Like, I think they should be aiming for that to be their thing. Obviously, you want bigger hopes to be on the top 100 list.
Yeah, for sure.
For those little personal goals, that locker room bulletin board material, these are the kind of things that they should be hanging up. They absolutely should be shooting for that top 100.
Right. Because what does that mean if they are in the top 100? What does that mean for the team? Right. So it's kind of like a domino effect. It's a good thing if they are, because that means that the team has some success. Right. I'm with you, man. I think both of those guys have a legit shot. we always talk about how Kade is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of spacing, right? JD is too, because the ball is going to be moving, right? And so double teams, off pick and roll, all these different things. These defenses got to make a decision now. Swing, swing. What are you doing? You got a scrambling defense, and you got a JD now under the basket, wide open. You know what I mean? So like, he's going to be, like you mentioned it earlier, I think he's going to be a double-double machine without having one play drawn up for him. Just because of activity and because of loose balls that are available to him because of scrambling defenses, and now there's nobody under the rim except him. You know what I mean? So he's definitely, he's going to eat this season. I think that pick and roll is going to be looking very, very much like a well-oiled machine this season between the two of them, and also with J.I. too as well. So it's going to be fun to watch. And as far as J.I., I just think him just having the right structure, having a coach who hopefully, and who I am hopeful for, has the ability to put him in the best positions to be successful. Right? It seemed like in J.I.'s first season, he was just playing free basketball. And that's really when he's at his best.
Yeah.
It was just more so for him just understanding when to be how to be under control, when to use his speed, when not to, things like that. But that's when he plays at his best. In last season, he looked like he was just trying to play very careful. Very careful, like not trying to make any mistakes, as opposed to just playing his game. His game looked very subdued, right? And so it was just like he was thinking, he was trying to do the right thing as opposed to just playing your game. And y'all know, y'all hoop, when you're thinking on the court, you're not going to play well. It's just not going to happen. So I think that's just that alone is going to help him go a long way to just getting back to who he is and then being put in the right position to be his best. So I'm with you, bro. I think all three of those guys have a good shot of being in the top 100 by the end of next season for sure.
Definitely interested to see what this offense is going to actually look like and what they're allowed to do, especially from a big man standpoint. In a dream world, I would love for JD to bring out a 15, 18-foot shot. And I know he's capable of knocking that down. I wish that was, reality. We're talking about Bickerstaff coming from Cleveland, where bigs were allowed to do that. I would love to see that from a guy in Jaylen Duren, man. Like I said, it all depends on how the offense is drawn up. Man, I got a lot of success coming from that big man room. I don't know if it's going to be Tobias Harris or it's going to be Isaiah Stewart. I don't know who's going to be the running mate, but whoever it is, they're going to have a lot of opportunities. And I think Isaiah Stewart is also another little dark horse name that we need to really pay attention to, man, because he's going to be allowed to stretch the floor, and he's been improving every single year. I expect him to be a pretty big factor for this team too, based off of what he does. But the lineups are always the question mark with me. Until we see the lineups, until we see who's going to play together, who's going to get minutes, it's kind of hard to put your finger on who's going to be the most successful out there. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. Since we're talking about lineups, and it may not be any more clear now than it was before because we still haven't heard much. But do either of you have your ideal starting five at this point in the offseason? Has anything changed?
No.
Or are you still clueless at that fourth spot? Like we always talk about. Do you guys have any hunches, any changes of hearts, any ideas? Even what you think, bro?
I mean, mine is still the same from what it was before, a little early in the season, kind of after free agency. I've seen a lot of conversation about this backcourt. It has to be Kade and Ivey. That has to be the backcourt. I don't think Asar has done enough to if he's going to start, it's cool, but in the backcourt next to Kade, that's not beneficial at all for this offense. He hasn't proven enough to be that, so it has to be Jay and Ivey at this point. And you say if you want to do one of the shooting guards, one of the vets, whether it's Hardaway Jr. or Beasley, I can get it, but we still got to see what we want to know out of Kade and Ivey together. The front court, to me, Duren is an obvious. Tobias, you paid him too much. He has to start.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
King talked about that before. Go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like I see Fontecchio starting, man. I don't know. I don't know if
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I see a star starting yet. Like, again, I just think that we need to see a little bit more from him. And again, it doesn't have to be in a starting role. If he shows that he's grown offensively coming off the bench, then maybe that's the reason to put him in the starting lineup and give him some more opportunity. But for right now, we haven't seen enough of that. So I think he needs to kind of be eased in and just kind of hone in on what he's good at for now while taking baby steps with everything else for right now.
Okay. So
officially, Stu goes to the bench.
I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk. I know that's your guy.
So you got Tech at the 4 or at the 3?
I got him at the 3. I got him at the 3. I got Tobias at the 4.
Yeah,
gotcha.
This is interesting. I like this.
I like it too. I like it.
Yes,
go ahead.
I know Stu is your guy, King, and yeah, maybe there is a world where his ceiling is high and works on this team. I don't see it, man.
You don't see it? Okay.
I don't. I got a couple articles ready that Piston fans might be mad at, but
yeah,
I question
ready to go.
his fit, man. I really question Isaiah Stewart's fit a lot with this team. Again, I think his role makes sense. He is, he's done a good job at, extending his jump shot. He's a very underrated defender. I don't think he gets half the credit he deserves as a defender. But offensively, I just think he limits this team too much. I feel like he doesn't have the ability to create his own shot. He doesn't really have much of a handle. And if you're going to work on spacing, it's important to have set shooters, but you also want guys who are a little more versatile than he is offensively. And I just don't think he has enough of that yet. So to me, I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I feel you on that.
Yeah.
My ideal, or I don't want to say ideal, but I think about guys like Al Horford.
Okay.
Do you think he could be an Al Horford type of guy? Do you think he could get there?
Yeah, that's not a bad projection. I don't know if he can with the Pistons though. That's
or Nas Reed. Okay, got you.
I feel like with Duren being their focal point big at this point, being a 7-footer. And again, I don't think they're going to play him like Monty did last season, where Monty had Duren at the top of the key throwing lobs into Stu on the block. Like, that was just stupid. It made no sense to me. I feel like if you're going to work Stu, I think his energy can work with the starting lineup, but I think it's better suited off the bench. I think he complements those guys a little better as a 4.
Gotcha.
Maybe as a backup 5, but I don't know. I feel like he has a lot more that he needs to work on to pencil him in as a starter for right now, based on the skills of the other starters right now. That's kind of how I see it.
Okay, yeah, I'm not mad at that. Go ahead, King.
No, that makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love Stu, but even with me and Deuce, man, I've been saying Stu's going to the bench, bro. It's just what it is. He's going.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to the bench, or he's
Okay.
going somewhere else. Is he the one of the two? Is he the one of the two?
I don't think he's going anywhere. Personally, I don't think he's getting moved. That contract is still friendly, and
it is.
He had some decent trade entrance last time, man. So I don't know, bro.
I don't think he's going anywhere. But you could be right. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I was surprised when King came to that conclusion, because he was like, talking about the 15-footer for Stu as well. Because that's one thing that I don't think we looked into enough, or the Pistons looked into enough, is just kind of just pushing that more, just looking for that more instead of stretching him all the way out to the 3 after never having shot the ball out there before for his career. So, yeah, but it's tough. So it's just interesting now to hear King like, yeah, he going to the bench.
Yeah, who's your 5 then? Who's your 5 then if it's not with him?
Who's my 5?
Yeah.
Okay, obviously it's Kade and Ivey.
Okay.
Duren at the 5. Where I get hung up at,
there you go.
is this 3 and 4, man?
Yeah, man.
Where is Tobias playing? Does he play at a 3 or is he playing at 4? I prefer Tobias to play the 3.
Yes.
I have the vivid memory of covering the Pistons, and Tobias is the worst help side defender I've ever seen in my life.
Bro.
I don't want him to play the 4 at all.
Not even just that. I still have nightmares of watching Tobias Harris getting bullied by Kevin Love in the 2016 first round of the NBA playoffs when we got swept. LeBron was literally doing what you were saying the Pistons won't do with Jaylen Brown. Every time we go on a run, LeBron would dump it right down to him and say, go to work and stop this run. Every single time. And he was bullying him. The way you saw Jokic bullying AD in the playoffs, like literally like moving him off his feet, like off the ground. That's what was happening with Tobias. I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen now because he's 8 years older. He's probably stronger now, but I don't know, man. I just worry about that 4 spot and just his size, because the East is big, man. A lot of two big lineups in the East. So it's like, how you going to combat that?
Now, this is where I further the conversation, right?
Okay.
Because obviously you got to have some guys off the bench. Everybody can't start, right? You got to have some firepower off the bench. So if Tobias plays a 3, and in this world, Stu somehow plays the 4.
Okay.
You still got Fontecchio, Beasley coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? You
Shooting.
got firepower off the bench. Y'all already know I'm not a fan of what we got at point guard coming off the bench. I'm just not. I want something else at point guard coming off the bench.
Which we're going to get to later, but hold that thought. But go ahead.
Right. So, like I said, you got to have some type of firepower. Backup center, obviously, Reed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you can't take everything from the bench.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to put some points up there.
That's true.
So it just, to me, it balances it out a little bit because you got Fontecchio, Asar, and good Lord, Reed, and you got some firepower off the bench. That's the only reason I would say Stu can start.
Okay.
I just don't want Tobias playing a 4 because I would rather play him in a position where I feel like it's an advantage for him, not a disadvantage.
Right.
When it comes to defending 4s in this league, everybody's going back to the traditional style NBA. They have 2 bigs, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have 2 bigs. And when you got an undersized guy like that, it's just not going to work out well. It's just not. So, like I said, you're scoring points, but you're giving up points too. So that's my only problem with it. And that's why I said this lineup, when it comes to 3 and 4, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go.
Like, so bro, I don't want Tobias guarding Al Horford. Or Zinger. I don't want Tobias guarding Giannis.
Look at them
like,
teams.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't no, that's a problem. So I don't know, man. It's certain matchups in the Eastern Conference where it matters most. A lot of those teams are bigger. They'll have a size advantage every night. And I don't know. That just kind of worries me a little bit. So we'll see. I will feel more comfortable having a Stu in that position for that reason. Probably even if it means sacrificing a little bit of your offense, like Eric, you said that we would in that situation.
Yeah, Clinton is who I was trying to think of, man.
Okay.
At the 4 off the bench with Reed, and then you got Fontecchio and Asar's options. So like that's where I was at with it. So yeah.
You want to talk about Clinton, Eric? You was licking your chops on Bobby.
Yeah, my boy Ricky in the comments. He's his biggest fan for Bobby Clinton.
I am too.
I'm all for it. I fell in love when I saw him in the summer league. Boy, does he look like the perfect connector.
Yes.
He's that. I'm talking about like Beef Stew kind of not having that handle and the ability to create. He does. He has the ability to defend similar to how Stu does. They kind of have like a similar body type, a little bit, maybe not as strong, but that jumper is there. His handle is so pure. And even when he's not dribbling, even if it's just a quick touch to somebody in the corner, that's exactly what this team needs. Hopefully he is that piece, because I don't see, like, granted, we saw a lot of 15-man lineups with Monty. So if they can't do that again, they got to make sure they find the right pieces. And right now, they're kind of juggling on who that could be. I think he's going to have a chance. So I don't think he's going to spend all his time in the G League. He's going to get an opportunity. I think.
Bro. Rick, I'm with you, and I'm with Ricky. I could legitimately see him starting by the end of the. Bro, I'm just watching how much fun he's having playing basketball. You can see we always talk about how it takes a year or two for the game to slow down. It seems like it already has slowed down for him. He's played professionally overseas. He understands, and when you see him, no look passes, and you see him doing a touch pass to Ron Holland and holding the pose. As Ron Holland goes and gets an N1, you just see he sees the play before it happens. He understands what he's looking at on the basketball court already, and that's what gives him the advantage. So I would love to see him next to JD. That would be a perfect fit, in my opinion, at that 4 spot. That would be seamless. Yeah,
you can only deny high IQ basketball players for so long, bro.
Right,
they're going to find their way on the court. They're going to find whatever lane they can to get themselves out there on the court, bro. Clinton. The passing, the composure, the confidence to shoot the shot.
The confidence, exactly.
Like, man, bro, I don't think it's. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about the G League. He's going to find his way on that court.
Yeah,
at some point in the season, man. And
we got a gym.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun season. I really think it's gonna be a fun season. It may not be a winning season, but it's gonna be a fun season. I think a lot of these games are gonna be fun. They're gonna be competitive. I think a lot more than what we saw last year, where guys are leaving at the third quarter. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the season for sure, bro. Even you got something for me? What's
Yeah, I
up?
was gonna say they just need. I like what Troy Weaver said to start the season last year. He said we want to at least play. We want all our games to matter up until the end. That
Right.
should be a fair barometer at this point. Unfortunately, it just got off the wagon by November, so
Good
we
point.
didn't really have a chance of making that happen. So
Good point.
if they go back to that same goal, I'd be happy with it. And I think they're way better set up to do that with a better coach and way better athleticism on this team.
I like it. I like it, bro. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, man. So that takes us to our last topic of the night. We were talking about backup point guard, I think, right? Earlier, a little bit earlier. So with that, we have news that the Grizzlies waived Derrick Rose. Immediate reaction to that news, if you guys have any.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd cry if it did. You know what I'm saying? I loved every second of Derrick Rose being here in the Pistons jersey because
Okay.
I know he was spilling knowledge to these guards, leading by example. He's everything that they need, and plus, Derrick Rose is one of my favorite basketball players of all time.
Yeah, this dude loves D Rose, bro.
I love D Rose. I thought he was a different type of human being, but
He was.
for what he can bring, for what he can bring to this team, just as a veteran, and with the leadership, and these guys need that type of voice in their ear. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's been at the very top, the peak of this league, as an MVP guy. You need that, bro. So those are the voices that ring out in the locker room. We talked about that, Deuce. It's the difference between a guy like Derrick Rose saying something to you and a guy like Corey Joseph saying something to you.
Right.
Different. You know what I'm saying? These guys got egos. Some of us are ex-athletes. We know how we go. You know how we be in the locker room. Man, shut the fuck up. That's
I
how we
ain't trying to listen. Yeah. No, facts. I ain't even hearing you, bro. Yeah, just tune him out. For sure. Yeah. Okay. Even what you think, bro? He not rolling with it. Let's talk about it.
I haven't heard Corey Joseph's name in so long.
Oh, okay. King would be the one to bring him up. That's fair play. We all know that.
I totally forgot about Corey Joseph.
That is King's ace.
He would be Derrick Rose.
Corey Joseph's backup. Wow.
Oh,
you said Corey Joseph backup. I'm dead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What you got? E?
Derrick Rose would be perfect here. I think Sasser, again, I see a lid where he can maybe be that flamethrower scorer off the bench for somebody else. I just don't think it's what the Pistons need right now. I feel like they need a veteran backup point guard to, again, school a lot of knowledge into these young guys' ears and to kind of be able to complement a lot of what they do as well. He's a good enough passer where he could set up Malik Beasley in the corner, find Fontecchio. He's still showing enough shiftiness where, again, he's coming off the bench, so he's not going to be going up against starters and like the first line lockdown defenders. So he can beat up on a Sam Hauser. Sorry, Jaylen Brown. But he can blow past him and get the points. I'm sorry. And who better for a guy like Jaden Ivey to learn from? Like, are you kidding me? Could he have a better mentor than a guy like Derrick Rose who plays his exact kind of style? He was just helping John Morant, who's also kind of that same ilk. So I think he is absolutely perfect for a guy like Ivey, especially if Ivey is not coming off the bench, but if he's playing that staggered backup point guard role, and you have Derrick Rose next to him, he don't necessarily have to be a shooter, but he can slash and create enough, and they both have enough speed still, where it'll be a pretty good combo between the two. So I think it will make so much sense if they were to not use Sasser and lean on a guy like Rose if they could get him.
So I don't disagree with either of you's points. I just have some thoughts that support the other side.
Okay,
so just hear me out. So Derrick Rose, right, former MVP, should be a multi-time MVP in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But I don't. Okay, so when he was last here in 2019, 2020, right? He was 31. I do think he had some impact on the team when he was here. I wish he could have had more impact on a guy like Killian Hayes. That's really what I was hoping for. We never saw that. So that was disappointing. He wasn't a huge needle mover then. He was good for us, but now he's 35. And I just don't know how much he has left in the tank to offer on the court consistently is at this age in his career. And I think if I were to bring him here now, it would be more of a veteran leadership role in the locker room. And that's, for me, that's been one of the biggest needs for this team. I do think we've kind of addressed it a little bit, but what's to mentor our young guards, like a guy you mentioned, Eric, J.I., similar attributes, similar style of play. But for me, after what I saw in Summer League, I would like to get in. Your point is taken about the veteran leadership. I can't even argue that because you guys are right, especially for this young team. But I'm looking at a guy like Dennis Jenkins, who played very, very well for this team in Summer League. Undrafted player, right? He's had to get it out the mud his whole career. He scrapped his way to Summer League spot with us. He played very well, far well enough to earn an opportunity. And he's a scrappy defender. He's a steady point guard. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's under control. He doesn't turn the ball over. He can even create for himself. And his jumper looks solid. So and he always speaks about how much he appreciates the opportunity for the Pistons taking a chance on him. He's going to work his butt off for every opportunity. That much we know. And that's what we really didn't see last year. We didn't see that energy from guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Guys giving that effort. We didn't see that. I think that can be contagious. You have a guy coming in with that mindset who was undrafted. Like, what's his? It holds you accountable. So for me, I'm not saying you guys are wrong about D Rose. I just really liked what I saw from Dennis Jenkins, man. I really like what I saw from him. And I think he could be one of those guys that could really fill that role. He's not a veteran, like you guys mentioned. And that's why, for me, if I'm bringing D Rose here at 35, I'm not looking for him to play any minutes, really, unless it's foul trouble, things like that. I'm looking for him to be the guy to pull him to the side and explain to him what he saw from his vantage point on the sideline. So that's just my thought.
Deuce, I love you, brother.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown.
Hell no. We need a veteran, bro.
Tell me what, okay, I get it. I get it. I know.
We've played that game too much. We're trying to win games finally. We need a veteran in here. It ain't like Jennings is going nowhere. If we get a veteran in here and ain't working out, he's still here. He's still around. You still can get it, play him. But no, I need a veteran, bro. The Summer League is the Summer League for a reason.
Yeah, it is. No, for sure. For sure. For sure.
So, like I said, with that, man,
but we can't.
You got a lot of youth like that on the bench. You need a veteran point guard running the ball, having the ball.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I just don't know if Derrick Rose is. I'm just looking at his age. I'm looking at his injury history. Can he even stay healthy enough to stay on the court?
Derrick Rose he'll stay healthy. He stayed healthy enough last year. He'll stay healthy. I mean, LeBron can play till he's 30 or 40 years old, whatever.
LeBron, different animal, bro. D Rose got a slew of injury history, bro. Like, it's a different ball game.
I'm just saying, Derrick Rose had some time off. He don't play the type of way that he used to play. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
you don't seem too confident in what you said.
I'm scrambling right now. Just leave me alone.
I know.
No, but seriously, on the serious note, man, yeah, Derrick Rose he's 25, but at the same time, coming off the bench, man, for him that's not a huge workload. We've seen guards at 35 plenty around the league that come off the bench and play some solid minutes. You know what I'm saying? If it don't work out, if you can't stay healthy, you got guys like you just mentioned ready to step in or you move up to the roster, whatever you want to call it. We can go that route, but I prefer a veteran, whether it's D Rose, whether it's I see Ish Smith in the comments.
I feel you.
A veteran, bro. I want a veteran that can help these young guys on the bench that can come in when Kade gets in foul trouble and be productive out there with the starters. I just need that. That's all I'm asking for.
So basically, you're saying
no. Look at you. No. Okay, we're trying to be serious. You know what? I shouldn't have came. That's what I should do. I should have just.
No, this is the treatment you get for being late. This is the treatment you get for being late.
I was having a good time. No.
King was right. King was straight up with what he said earlier. We've done this enough. We've tinkered around with young
That's true.
players.
That's true.
And they're at a point where even having guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, even if they don't play a lot, these are the kind of players you need on this roster at this point because you have enough young pieces where you're trying to figure out what you have with them. Even someone said Markelle Fultz. I like him, but he's another kind of one of those guys. He's basically James Wiseman as a point guard, and you can't afford to take a chance on another guy like that at this point.
I like
you
that.
need someone who knows what they're doing. I wish they could have got Monty Morris this offseason compared to the last because he would have fit exactly what
King is talking about.
Someone where if he's going to play a little bit, he's going to fill in exactly what you need. Not a guy that's I'm like a guy like the guy who's coming in from the summer league or someone like Markelle who's trying to still prove themselves to show they still got it, trying to work to, be who they can be on a roster. You just need somebody to help teach and help grow the foundation. That is the number one primary focus of this team, not bring in more young players to see what they can figure out. Like they don't have that affordability at this point.
The James Wiseman of point guards. I have never heard that before. I had to think about that one for a second.
Guys. We had nothing but prove it guys coming through here. We done with prove it, bro. Like, we want the guys who already improved it.
Yes.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Nah, you guys have valid points about the veteran leadership. That's what we pushed for all off season. We talked about it all off season. So it makes sense. It makes sense. I kind of have a soft spot for guys who go undrafted. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just like seeing those guys be successful when they get the opportunity to take advantage of it, all that. So, I had a little emotional ties on this one, but I ain't mad at y'all.
Detroit grit bleeding out of you today.
You know what I'm saying? I can't help it, bro. I can't help it. So y'all telling me when it comes to Jenkins, it takes more. Okay, I get it. I got you.
Shameless.
I got you.
Look at you.
This guy always advertising.
I had to, man.
Shout out Carl, too.
Shout out to Carl, who is here, my dog. Yes, sir. Hey, for those who don't know, this guy is a Steven Spielberg of Detroit when it comes to this stuff, and his editing skills is A1, second to none. This guy, he's done all mine, and he not even just mine. He does videos every single week whenever the Lions win a game. It's ridiculous. He's just consistent with it. So go follow him. Go subscribe to him. And speaking of advertising and boosting people up who deserve it, Vinny, let's talk about where we can find you, bro. What are you doing right now? We know you writing for ClutchPoints. We know you're doing all these different things. You was on a radio show before. Talk about what you're doing right now. Kind of just talk your stuff.
I'm keeping busy, man. I love being able to hop on these pods and, interact with the Detroit community, man. So I'm doing a lot with ClutchPoints right now. Get ready to get into beat reporter mode with the Pistons. Again, we got media day coming up next week. I'll be at practice. I'll be at the games, home games. Hopefully some away games, they can squeeze a seat for me on the plane. I'll see what I can do from there. I got my own YouTube channel that I'm trying to get, popping and get a little more interactive on there. Top Title Entertainment. Make sure you tap in and follow me on there. Plenty of Lions coverage, Pistons coverage. Like you talked about earlier, if you want to hear me slander Drake, big up the new king of rap, Kendrick Lamar, I can do that there. WWE talk, all of that, man. I'm trying to stay busy. Anybody who's interacting with that, that's where you can holler at me. And, of course, my social media at I am Eric Vincent. Holla at your boy.
Nah, definitely go check him out, man. He knows his sports, but he's also entertaining. He'll have you laughing, as you guys have seen tonight. So go check him out for sure.
Appreciate that.
So, I lost a brother, man, and had a previous lost a brother before him, but this brother I just lost is very, very tough. My brother James Edwards is gone, man. And first I lost Rod Beard, and now it's this man. So over the years, some years, I've been following these guys, Pistons, everything.
Yeah.
But that means something, though. That means that you have the juice now, Eric. Get your DMs ready. I'm gonna be in your DMs, man.
I want it. I'm ready for the throne. I'm ready.
LeBron, I like it. Yeah, he's ready.
A lot of game, man. James Edwards, super cool dude. It's really cool seeing him. In the space. He's getting these opportunities for a reason. He was the lead writer over there with The Athletic. I got this huge opportunity for the Knicks. I'm super excited to step in, though. It's a lot of great people do great work. Shout out Corey Woods Sean Murphy, Cooper Hill, anybody else I forget. It's a lot of great writers. I just want to show that I can be one of them. So, tap in with me. If I'm trash, let me know. But, I'd love for y'all to give me a chance, give me a try, man. I appreciate the time.
Nah, definitely not that. His articles worth the read for sure. Telling y'all.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. Yeah. So yeah,
realistic.
Right.
Somebody got to do it. You're right.
Yes.
Somebody got to be
very honest.
Yeah.
Very honest.
Out here. That's needed over here for sure.
Very balanced. Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Y'all got anything else, man? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all we got for y'all tonight. We will be back on Thursdays to prepare for next week. We talked about that already. And anything that happens in between time, we're going to get to that too as well. So, Eric, it was great having you on, bro. Glad you could pull up on us tonight, man.
Yeah. Anytime, man. I got to get y'all on the channel, man. Yeah, I got to talk some Lions. I love King. You have the best Lions content of anybody on YouTube, man.
Talk about it.
So, yeah, I'll definitely try to get y'all on my channel. Again, Top Title Entertainment. Anytime I get to chop it up with y'all is a blessing, man. I appreciate y'all for letting me get on.
Same here, bro. You already know, man.
Mutual.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody who showed up and showed out in the comments tonight. And remember, if we missed any questions pertaining to any topics we talked about, drop it in the comment section of this video, and we'll be sure to get your voice heard in our next stream. So that's a wrap for the night, and we will see y'all on Thursday. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.